Hey guys, Boneyard here. So we're going to start a little project, something different. I'm going to be putting together a mini bike. I found this mini bike frame down at the dump. So I figured I'd like to make an old school chopper style mini bike. So that's what I'm going to do. I got this 5-horse Briggs & Stratton that I already had running. Runs good. I actually put a 3-horsepower carburetor on it because I didn't want the tank on the engine. I'm going to put a gas tank up here. So I had it running. It runs good. Carburetor's leaking a little bit, but I never cleaned it. I just threw it on. So I'll do all that when the time comes. And it's one of those Chinese mini bikes. Nothing special about it. I'm going to take these fenders off. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the front forks a little bent in like they hit something, so I'm going to have to heat them up, and I want to bend them out. The handlebar clamps are broke. I like to get some little higher handlebars, so I like to get them up a little higher, like some 8 bars. If I can't find any, I'm going to just make the risers come up higher. So I ain't dumping a lot of money in it, that's for sure. It's going to be kind of like the hot rod tractor I did, hot rod wheel horse. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to take these fenders off. I'm going to look for a different front wheel. Probably leave the back wheel, but we're going to look for a different front wheel. I would like to find a spoke wheel, you know, like that old 70 chopper look. So that's what I'm planning on. I'm going to just go with the flow and see what I come up with. I do have actually a BSA 1970 chopper with a Springer front end, and that's a regular motorcycle, and that's going to be a project this winter. So I'll throw a couple pictures of that in there so you can see what's going to be coming up. So stay tuned. We're going to start ripping this frame apart. Okay, we're down in my old shop. This is my motorcycle storage now. I also picked up this old Yamaha moped. So that's probably going to be a video at some point. But this is the 1970 BSA I was talking about. It's going to need a lot of work, so we're going to hop on this winter. It's low on compression, so I'm going to have to pull those cylinders, see what's going on with it. But this is going to be a fun build. Always wanted a chopper with a Springer front end. Now I got one. Just need some work. So stay tuned this winter for this video coming out. Just a quick overview of the old shop. Got a couple segways someone gave to me. They couldn't get them working. I got this one going good. This one needs a new fob and needs to be programmed, so pretty fun. They go about 12 miles an hour. All right, guys, we'll get back on that mini bike. Okay, so I was doing some work on the mini bike, and I didn't videotape much, but I have the engine all bolted in. I have the chain on, lined up. Everything looks good there. I have my seat on, and now I'm working on my sissy bar. So I got a welded top, and then I'm going to heat it up with a torch right in here, and then I'm going to bend it straight up. So when you sit on the seat, you can lean against it. Might do some kind of design in here. Not sure yet. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the gas tank. I had this little round gas tank that was on that fly mower that I need parts for, so I just robbed that for a minute and set it up here, but I don't think I'm going to use that. It's kind of small, so We still got to deal with the gas tank, figure that out. And I got to straighten the front forks that are bent. Find a different front wheel, but everything is just a rough fit right now. I just want to get everything together, fitted, and then tear it apart and paint it. That's where we're at right now. I'm going to get this sissy bar welded up, heat it up and bent where I want it, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I got the torch out and I heated up the sissy bar right in them two spots, and I bent it where I wanted it. I tack welded it on the top, still got to finish welding it. Didn't want to do anything permanent yet, so I was sure I liked how it turned out. And I think it turned out pretty good. So that's pretty much it for now until I figure out what I'm going to do inside there. While I have the torch out, we're going to heat up these front forks and see if I can get them to come back straight. Might want to rake it a little bit out, like a little chopper style. Not crazy though. I don't know how thick those pipes are. I'm going to have to take it easy on that, try to figure out how I'm going to do it. So stay tuned for that. And we'll keep plugging along on this beauty. Okay, so I'm going to try to straighten these forks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up right here on both sides where it's bent, nice cherry red. And then I'm going to sit down, put my feet on the foot pegs, and then pull forward on the bottom of the forks to try to bring that back where it goes. So I'm going to do this in regular time. So let me get you set up. Hopefully I don't block too much. But I don't have no. Just trying to set this up on a stool. Leave it like that. If you can see it, great. Hopefully you can. So let me get my gloves on. Tilted. Let's straighten it up a little bit. Something like that. Torch lit. All right, here we go. I want a nice hot flame, but not too hot where you're going to melt through. Not very thick, it's heating up quick. So. I have my welding glasses on, which I don't because I forgot to get them. Make sure you wear your welding glasses. Do as I say, not as I do. Be careful when I pull on it because I don't want to go too far. Some kid probably hit a tree with it. both of them hot. Cherry red if you can. I know it's hard with only one torque going back and forth, but heat up this side a little bit more, and then we're going to turn this thing off and see what I can get. Good. A little bit more. Yeah, that's good. Right there, I think. We want it to rake out a little bit when I get my new front tire. You see, it just goes out just a little bit. That's what I want. Cool. Okay, we're going to let that cool off, and we'll get to the next step. I didn't open the door in the garage yet. Still is pretty early. But going to have to now. Getting hot in here. Okay guys, we'll bring you back. Okay guys, so I took this shelf bracket I found at the dump and I cut the centerpiece out of it. Then I cleaned up all the paint off it and I put it in my sissy bowl. I have to clean up the welds because I ran out of welding gas. So now I gotta go get some welding gas tomorrow. Finish welding it, but I think it looks pretty cool. Got to figure out what I'm going to do up on the top, but yeah, I like it. Looking pretty good. Okay, let's keep plugging along. Okay, so I've been working on the exhaust a little bit. Got a straight pipe coming out with a 45 on it. It's going up, not the back like this. Nothing's welded yet because I ran out of gas in my welder. I gotta go get some tomorrow. But that's kind of what the exhaust is gonna look like. I'm gonna put this piece of square stock here. I'm gonna weld it to that pipe, the exhaust pipe, and then bolt it through the frame. Hold that as a bracket to hold this piece of exhaust from shaking all around. And then this has got to get welded. This is just sitting on there now. That's got to get welded. Kind of doing it the same way I did the hot rod wheel horse. And I put a little baloney cut on the end. That's what the exhaust is going to look like. Now the fender, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to run a fender or not. I'm not going to run the front fender. This is the front fender, so I'm going to have to move these brackets because it's going to hit the exhaust if I put it back where it's supposed to be. So this is the rear fender that was on it. And this one, like that. I'm just going to have to lower the brackets. But what I'm thinking is I'm going to use the front fender because I'm not going to put a front fender on it. And I'm going to use actually the back side out front like this and have it sit something like that. Just got to move those brackets down to make it work. Maybe trim the top off a little bit. Either that way or I can put it on this way also. I'm not sure what way I'm going to do it yet. I kind of like it the other way better. I like it this way better. So either that or run no fender. I think I kind of like it this way. I wish I had a metal fender. You know, I could still paint that. So until I get some gas for the welder, figure out what I'm going to do for a gas tank and front tire, and I got to get some new clamps. These are broken for the handlebars. I would like to get some little taller 8 bars for it, but we'll see. That's where we are for now. Until I get some gas, we'll be back. Hey guys, so I've been working on the mini bike. I haven't really videoed much. Just kept working. Anyway, I'll go over what I did. So I did buy one of these little bicycle gas tanks that I put on there. And I still got to tweak the mounts a little bit. I had to put the on and off petcock facing upward because if I try to, you know, put it downward so this would be facing down, I couldn't. It would hit the frame right here. So it works this way. I'm going to put a filter in here, but I might change that. I would like to get this hose down a little bit. Maybe I'll put a 90 on here and see what happens. But we're still working on that, but I did get the tank on. I like how it looks. I got my risers on order. They haven't came in yet, my handlebar risers. The motor's all bolted up. I got my exhaust on there. Sissy bar is on. I primed it just so it wouldn't rust. And at the top of the sissy bar, I put, I don't know if anybody knows what these are, but it's a dog bone from a loft reel mower. I just cut one end off and put it up there. Still looking for a front wheel. I gotta hook up the throttle cable, get that working. The chain, clutch, all that's on. And I also got a tail light for it, and I got a couple headlights, just some cheap. Let me show you. I'll get those out and I'll bring you back. So I got these cheap night light LED. This is a 4-pack. I'm probably only going to use 2. I think I'm going to put them. I'm going to put one here and then one on the bottom. I'm going to stagger them out like the old chopper. I was going to go with chrome ones, but I didn't want to spend that much money. So I think I got this whole 4-pack for like 20 bucks. And I used these before, they're pretty good. Then I got these little LED red lights. Let me get one out here. I think there's, I don't know how many's in there. There's probably like 10. And I think they were under 15 bucks. So I don't know where I'm gonna put these yet. I think I might put them in a sissy bar yet. Well, the bracket across, something like that. But I'm not sure yet. Then I gotta find somewhere to mount a little battery. Probably right up front, one of those little batteries. It doesn't have a stator in it, so it's not gonna charge it. So we'll just keep it charged, the battery. So that's where we're at with it now. As soon as I get my handlebar risers in and my throttle hooked up and take for a test ride, I'll get my lights all on there, mounted up, and then we'll strip it down and start painting. I don't know if I showed you guys the back fender yet. I did use the front fender. I turned it around backwards and I lowered the mounts to get it closer to the wheel, and that way it will plenty of room for the exhaust. I think I'm gonna get some header wrap and put on this pipe right here from the elbow up to the engine. And that will keep it cooler down there. Might do something with the air filter. I kind of like the oil-based air filter on here. It gives it that old school look. Or do I want to put another type on it to give it that hot rod look? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure even what color I'm going to paint it yet, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. But right now we'll just get it rolling. I'm going to cut these mounts off. I'm not going to run a front fender So we'll cut those mounts off, grind it down, and yeah, might do something a little different with the pegs. I don't know, but that'll be a little later. Right now, I got the gas tank mounted with these L brackets, and then I wrapped the brackets that came with it around, and I put aluminum spacer in there, and that just not gonna go anywhere. That's good enough. Once all that stuff gets painted, it'll look fine. A little early in the morning, so I'll start it a little later. Sounds pretty good. All right, that's the update as of now. Well, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do these lights in the front and get them brackets made up and welded on or whatever I have to do. And I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so we're back on the mini bike build. Been a couple weeks since I worked on it. So what we're going to do is I think I'm going to take this old Yamaha moped I had given to me. I was going to see if I can get it running. I don't want to put no money into it. I think I'm going to use the front wheel off of this for the mini bike. And that way I can use the front brake. I can use the speedometer if I want. And I need a throttle and everything for the mini bike because that's broken, so I can use this one. And use the cables for the brakes and everything. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to strip it off, everything off it, take what I want to keep, and then probably just junk the rest. I'll probably save the seat. I think the gas tank is pretty nasty in this. So that's the plan. We will start tearing this apart, and first thing I want to do is get the front wheel off and see how it's going to look on the mini bike. Make sure it's not too big. I know it's pretty rusted, but I will, when I paint the bike, I'll paint it all up. It will look good. Seems like it's a little low on compression. It's been sitting a long time. I know they don't have much, but we're just going to tear it apart and use it for parts. So stay tuned, we'll get this thing all apart. Okay, so we got the front tire on here. I think it looks pretty good. And I got the brakes, front brake all hooked up, the rear brake hooked up, the throttle all hooked up. And this is what I did with the front wheel. I had to put a spacer on it, and then I welded a spacer here to catch the front brake hub so it don't spin when you pull the brake. That would fit in a notch on that moped. So once that gets all painted, it'll look fine. So took it for a test ride, runs pretty good. It will do a wheelie pretty easy. Yeah, so the next step is going to be take it all back apart and paint it. So I'm going to make this part one of the mini bike build. And look out for part two is when we strip it down and paint it. So let me go ahead and start it for you guys. Try to do this one-handed. Gotta hook up my kill switch. But yeah, come out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. It's got the old school chopper look, what I was going for. So we're not sure what color I'm gonna paint it yet, but we'll figure that out. I gotta get my headlights hooked up, tail lights, figure out when I'm gonna put a little battery. So, all right guys, that's it for part one of the mini bike build. Thanks for watching the video. If you like it, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And keep an eye out for part two. All right, guys. Be safe out there. We'll see you on the next one.